Pure MagDK can parse in update 50. I know there's been a ton of doom around DK, but the class is not dead. Pure class builds are back in update 50, and MagDK can put up real damage. So in this video, I'm going to show you the gear, the skills, rotation, and things that helped me just getting this parse feel clean. Big shout out to Bart for helping me work through the setup on this one. I hit 175k on this setup. I think I could squeak out 180, 182k if I spend another couple hours on the dummy. And the real cool thing about this is that most of the damage is AoE. For the gear, I got Huntsman War Mask, so this is a very single target focused setup. Even with it being a single target focused setup, it does a lot of cleave damage. Then I got Null Arca on the body, and Advancing Yokeda on the weapons and jewelry, and a Maelstrom Perfected Greatsword on the back bar. Null Arca is just a staple DPS set. It has a bunch of crit lines, and the slivers it shoots it out do a lot of damage, single target. Advancing Yokeda adds tons and tons of crit. It's all crit lines, and you can actually stack more crit with every light attack you do on the front bar, so this has super high crit. And then more crit, I got some light one-piece monster set with crit on the shoulders. Then the body is all divines, all medium except for the shoulders are light, all max magicka glyphs. The jewelry is all bloodthirsty with increased spell damage, enchants. The daggers are charge, absorb stamina, poison weapon. In content, you might want that main weapon to be Nirnhone. That might do a little bit more damage overall in content. Single target, charge will be a tiny bit better. Back bar is infused with a weapon damage enchant. For the race, I'd suggest Dark Elf, Khajiit, or High Elf. Dark Elf and Khajiit can switch from Stam to Magicka really easy. High Elf can't. If you are only ever wanting to be a MagDK, then High Elf would work. Or if you do want to switch over to Stam to run like a Zenkosh build or something like that, then I would suggest Dark Elf or Khajiit. For attributes, 64 points, all into Magicka. For the Mundus, got the Thief for more crit. For the food, the CMX is bugged out. It is not fresh apples and Edar cheese. I'm actually running Thrice Baked Gorapple Pie on the dummy. This is just pure max Magicka, 6k max Magicka. In content, I would run Mistral Banana Bunny Hash, which is just max Magicka, max health. If I was struggling with sustain, I might run Ghastly Eyeball or Clockwork Citrus Fillet, but the sustain on this is really nice because it's a good mix of Magicka and Stam skills, so you're going to be totally fine with Mistral Banana Bunny Hash. I'm using Heroism Potions for this to get that standard back as fast as possible. That's definitely going to be the highest damage option, but you could definitely run Tripods too. For the champion points, Wrathful Strikes, Master at Arms, Deadly Aim, and Exploiter. I tried Thaumaturge and got a little bit less damage with that. I think Deadly Aim is boosting up the Power Lash from Flame Lash just a bit more, and that is our highest damage skill, so that's why I think Deadly Aim is just a touch better. For the skills, your main spammable is Flame Lash, and when you hit an off-balance target with this, it turns into Power Lash, which does a lot more damage. You don't want to be doing a ton of regular Flame Lashes. You want to be doing as many Power Lashes as you can. So it's kind of like a little mini game you're playing, waiting for those off-balance windows and proccing Power Lash. Your next skill is kind of a semi-spammable because it only lasts 4 seconds, Burning Talons, so you are casting this quite a bit. You don't really want to refresh this before it's over. If you really have no other dots to cast and you don't have Power Lashes, I'd say a regular Flame Lash would be a little bit better than reproccing Burning Talons early. Then you got Searing Claw. This is a really strong dot that ramps up. It does 10% more damage every 2 seconds. This does a ton of damage, and you do not want to reproc this early. It is 10-second dot. Then Disintegrating Dragonfire. This is a conal AoE dot, which blasts out in front of you. It does flame damage and applies burning status effect. It also procs Major Breach, which is nice, but shouldn't really be your job unless you're in dungeons, I guess. Then Barb Trap is a decent single target dot and gives you minor force. Then on the front bar, Flawless Dawnbreaker just gives you extra weapon damage from the Fighters Guild passives. We're not actually ever casting this. It's just for that weapon damage. Then on back bar, Stampede. For this, you charge in and then lay down a ground AoE up when you hit them. And this goes with the Maelstrom Greatsword, which actually buffs your direct damage up to 12%. So this is a critical part of the build to have Stampede going. Then Incinerate. This is a nice AoE damage. It also gives you Major Prophecy, Major Savagery. Then Shatterspike Mantle. This causes every instance of damage done to be up by 100 and gives you Major Resolve. This is a really strong skill, and this can make Landslide go up faster than all your other skills because it has that when this effect deals damage, you gain a stack of Landslide once every 10 seconds. And then in kind of a flex spot on the back bar is Carve. Carve. This gives a damage shield and is a decent AoE dot, but if you have to run like a Vigor or something like that, you would take off Carve first. And then Igneous Weapons, this gives you and your group Major Brutality and Sorcery, and also it buffs your light attacks to do extra flame damage, and it has a 60-second duration, which is just really great. I don't know why CMX is bugged to not show that I didn't cast it, but I did. Let's talk about the rotation. This rotation is actually really fun, but it is a little tricky. You're basically in dot maintaining mode the whole time, and the only real exception to that is Power Lash and getting those 5 Power Lashes, but you don't prioritize Power Lash over dots falling off, because now there's no Power Lash buff for spending all 5 of them. There was a huge damage increase if you spent all 5 of your Power Lashes. Now that's gone. So there's really no incentive to spend your Power Lashes fast, so make sure you keep those dots up and spend those Power Lashes, but you're not in a rush to do it. As far as skill priority goes, I'd say Flame Lash, getting that proc to Power Lash during the off balance window is your highest priority. Then after that, you're really just maintaining all of these dots, and you don't really want any of them to fall off for more than a second. Some of them are a little different than others, like with Claw, you don't want to reproc that early. You want it to fall off and then reproc it. But with Carve, you don't want that to fall off ever, because the time actually stacks if you proc it while it's already up. And then for all the other ones, you basically want to try to proc them exactly when they fall off. If you're a millisecond early on any of these other ones, it's okay. If you're a millisecond late with any of them, it's okay. You're basically trying to keep them up perfectly at like 100 or 99% time. And then definitely cast your standard as soon as you get it. That's really the whole rotation, is just maintaining those dots. For a fight with more cleave, I would use Aegis Collar on the weapons and the jewelry instead of advancing Yokeda. This will proc that big lesser Aegis that spins and does bleed damage. It'll do a little bit more cleave damage than advancing Yokeda. I did want to mention Pyrebrand because the archive sets are used on so many other builds. Pyrebrand just isn't best in slot right now. It got a nerf in the PTS, so it's good, but it's not best. Signet is kind of in that same vein. It's not terrible. You're going to be missing out on standard, which is a huge damage buff, so Signet's not the play either. A couple quick tips before we jump into the parse. When you're running advancing Yokeda, you want to spend as much time on front bar as possible. So if you have a whole bunch of dots to refresh on your back bar, you don't want to refresh them all in a row. You want to swap back to front bar, get a light attack skill in, and then switch back, because you don't want your Yokeda stacks to drop off, because then your crit will be doing a lot less. Basically, you can fit in 2 skills on the back bar before Yokeda starts to drop off. Sometimes if you're really fast, you can fit in 3. My basic rule of thumb with advancing Yokeda is 2 skills on the back bar max. And then for trash, I'd keep it pretty simple. Zolzon is still super strong in trash. I'd use Zolzon Tideborn, and that'll do great in trash. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If this helped at all, like the video and subscribe. Thanks. Peace.